Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'll tell you what, the moment I heard John Oliver was stepping into General Hospital, I figured this wasn't going to be one of those quick celebrity cameos where someone smiles, waves, and disappears. No, sir. The more I looked at everything coming out this week, the more convinced I became that the writers have something much bigger up their sleeves. I've watched enough daytime drama over the years to know when a new face arrives dressed in a sharp suit, stepping off a helicopter with armed agents at his side, somebody important is about to shake the whole town. That kind of entrance doesn't happen by accident. From where I'm sitting, all the clues point to one thing. John Oliver has to be the mysterious Z, the new leader of the WSB. Everything fits together a little too neatly to be a coincidence. Frank Valentini hinted that Oliver's character would play an important role in several storylines, and after seeing that preview, I just can't imagine anyone else making such a dramatic entrance. As folks say back home, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. What really grabbed my attention is how this connects to everything that's been happening with Jocelyn. I still remember when Carly and Valentine went to Turning Woods looking for answers from Jack Brennan. At first, they believed Joss had been sent on a dangerous WSB mission as some twisted punishment connected to Carly's relationship with Valentine. That theory already sounded suspicious to me, and Brennan wasted no time shutting it down. The second he insisted he had nothing to do with Joss disappearing, I had a feeling the story was heading somewhere much darker. Then came the moment that changed everything. Carly's fear suddenly felt real because she realized Joss hadn't simply gone undercover. She had been taken. Watching a mother reach that conclusion is never easy, and I have to admit those scenes hit me harder than I expected. You don't have to be a parent to understand that kind of panic. Anyone who's lived long enough knows that awful feeling when your mind immediately jumps to the worst possible outcome. What makes this even more fascinating is Brennan's complete confidence in this mysterious Z. Instead of sending more agents or trying another plan, he believed Valentine needed to contact the new WSB chief immediately. That tells me Brennan understands exactly how much authority this person has. He wasn't asking for a favor. He was pointing Valentine toward the only individual powerful enough to untangle this mess before it was too late. And then there's Ross Cullum. Now, that's where I think the story really starts to heat up. Brennan seemed convinced that exposing Ross as a dirty double agent would completely change the situation. That wasn't just another piece of intelligence floating around the WSB. That was the kind of secret capable of bringing down an entire operation. If Z truly is the leader of the agency, learning that one of his own has been playing both sides would almost force him into action. In my experience watching shows like this, betrayal inside an intelligence organization is something no leader can afford to ignore. And I have a feeling the raid we're about to see at Windermere is only the beginning of a much larger storm. What really stayed with me was Valentine's hesitation, because I honestly don't think it came from fear alone. A lot of people might look at the situation and wonder why he didn't simply contact Z the moment Brennan suggested it. But life is rarely that simple, especially for someone with Valentine's history. From where I'm standing, reaching out to the new head of the WSB wasn't just another mission. It was opening a door that he knew might never close again. Once he stepped back into that world, there was every chance he would lose whatever freedom he still had left. That's a frightening thought, even for someone who has spent years navigating danger. I've always believed that the hardest decisions are the ones where every option costs you something. Valentine wasn't choosing between good and bad. He was choosing between sacrificing himself or risking Jocelyn's life. That's the kind of burden that can keep a person awake all night. No matter how intelligent or experienced he is, there's no easy answer when the stakes are that personal. As the old saying goes, between a rock and a hard place. That's exactly where Valentine found himself. Still, time has a way of stripping away every excuse. Day after day passed, and there was still no sign of Jocelyn. The longer she remained missing, the heavier the guilt must have become. I kept thinking about Carly during all of this. No parent should ever have to wonder where their child is or whether they'll ever see them again. That fear alone would be enough to drive anyone to desperate measures, and I think Valentine understood that better than most people. Every hour that slipped away probably reminded him that standing still wasn't protecting anyone. Eventually, I think something inside him changed. His own future stopped mattering as much as Jocelyn's survival. That's what impressed me the most. Valentine has always been a complicated man. and I've never viewed him as either completely good or completely bad. He's one of those characters who lives in the gray area, where every choice comes with consequences. But when someone willingly walks toward punishment because it's the only chance to save another person's child, I can't help but respect that. Actions like that reveal more about a person's true character than any speech ever could, and let's be honest, Brennan's confidence in Z tells me everything I need to know. He wasn't making a random suggestion. He genuinely believed the new WSB leader was the only person with enough authority to cut through all the bureaucracy, expose the corruption inside the agency, and launch an operation before it was too late. That's an incredible amount of trust to place in one individual. It also tells me that Z isn't simply another government official sitting behind a desk pushing paperwork. This is someone who can make decisions that immediately change the course of events. I have to smile when I think about all the fan theories that exploded after Z was first mentioned. Every time I opened a discussion online, somebody had another idea. One group was convinced Frisco Jones had to be coming back to reclaim a major role inside the WSB. Others believed the mysterious new character connected to Tristan Rogers would eventually be revealed as the secret leader. Every theory had little pieces of evidence supporting it, and everyone sounded completely convinced they had solved the mystery. That's one of the reasons I've always enjoyed following General Hospital. The show knows how to plant just enough clues to keep everyone guessing without making the answer obvious. It becomes less about finding the correct prediction and more about enjoying the journey. Fans begin comparing scenes, remembering conversations from weeks earlier, and connecting tiny details that seemed unimportant at first. Those are the kinds of mysteries that bring viewers together and keep the excitement alive between episodes. Now that everything points toward John Oliver being Z, I have to admit it feels surprisingly satisfying. At first glance, it seemed almost impossible that someone best known for political satire would step into such an important role. But after seeing his dramatic entrance in the preview, wearing a tailored suit, arriving by helicopter alongside heavily armed agents, I started looking at the situation differently. That entrance wasn't designed for a minor guest appearance. It announced that someone with real power had arrived in Port Charles, and everyone else would have to adjust accordingly. The timing couldn't be more critical, because another dangerous storyline is reaching its breaking point. Lisa Lobrecht is reportedly finishing the cold fusion project, and that's the detail that keeps pulling my attention back to the bigger picture. We've spent so much time watching different characters chase this technology that it's easy to forget just how valuable and dangerous it really is. Whoever controls that protocol won't simply gain leverage over one person or one family. They'll possess something that could reshape countless lives if it falls into the wrong hands. That's exactly why Ross Cullum and Jen Sidwell worry me so much. Neither one has shown the kind of judgment that makes me comfortable seeing them anywhere near something this powerful. Every move they've made has suggested they're willing to cross moral lines if it gets them what they want. Once people like that start chasing advanced technology, the danger spreads far beyond Port Charles. That's why I don't think this is just another spy story anymore. It has grown into something much larger. Looking at all these pieces together, I can't shake the feeling that the Windermere raid is going to be the moment where every storyline crashes into the next. Valentine's sacrifice, Carly's desperate search for her daughter, Brennan's trust in Z, Obrecht's scientific breakthrough, Cullum's betrayal, and Sidwell's ruthless ambition all seem to be pointing toward one explosive confrontation. That's usually when General Hospital delivers some of its strongest episodes, because every decision suddenly matters at once. Personally, I don't believe Z is arriving just to save Jocelyn and quietly disappear afterward. I think this character is walking into Port Charles to completely change the balance of power inside the WSB and expose people who believe they were untouchable. If that happens while stopping Cullum and Sidwell from stealing the cold fusion protocol, then this won't simply be another successful rescue mission. It'll mark the beginning of an entirely new chapter, one where old secrets are exposed, unexpected alliances are formed, and nobody can assume they're safe anymore. If I've learned anything from watching this show through the years, it's that the biggest storms always begin with one unexpected arrival. And I have a strong feeling we're standing right at the edge of one now.